Hello and welcome to another video from Agent David Pure Electric. This video is more of a personal video for myself and I want to address the elephant in the room. Okay, so I started college in 2001 at Brighton College Met, or what at the time was City College, Brighton and Hove. And I did the evening course, so I did the City and Guilds 2360 parts 1 and 2, which was a 3-year course, 2 evenings a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. Okay. And at the time, I didn't realise that there were different routes into the qualification or to become an electrician. I just assumed that whoever was whatever course I was on that said I was going to be an electrician, that meant I was an electrician. I didn't realise there were different levels. If I'd known that the apprenticeship route was the better route, obviously I would have chosen that option. Okay, and annoyingly at the time I was employed by a company that could quite easily have achieved that for me. But because I wanted a job as an electrician and I was struggling to get a job, I thought I'd be smart, put myself through college, show that I want it, so at least things are progressing, while I found myself a job. And then 2 weeks later, after joining up with the college, I got myself a job. And whether or not that was because of what I'd done, I don't know, but you know, here we are. So the reason I'm having this video is that I found out a couple of years ago, so a few years ago now, a chance conversation with somebody who will remain nameless, okay? But they said to me, "Are you sure you're qualified? Because we've just, been talking to SparkSafe, for instance, licensed to practice, and their checks are more thorough. And it actually turns out that there's a lot of electricians that have done the course that you did, and it turns out they're not qualified." So I thought, oh, okay, I better check my certificates. So I've had a look through my certificates, which I've got through here, and I've got quite a few certificates, okay? So I've got one here, Level 2 Certificate in Electrical Installation Theory and Practice Part 1, okay? And was successful in the following components, so associated electronics technology. I've got here Level 2 Certificate in Electrical Installation Theory and Practice Part 1. Successful in the following component, basic installation practices and technology. I've got another one, so Level 2 Certificate in Electrical Installation Theory and Practice Part 1. That doesn't have anything on it, that is just a blank certificate that just says that. I've then got these more official looking certificates, okay? So I've got Level 2 Certificate in Electrical Installation Theory and Practice Part 1. And that tells me that I've done successful in the following 3 components. So I did assignments, composite practical exercises, and competence in associated electronics technology. Awarded 2003, okay? Passes all the way through. I then got this one, okay? So again, Level 3 Certificate in Electrical Installation, Theory and Practice, Part 2, and was successful in the following 1 component. So installation, commissioning, fault diagnosis, okay? February 2005. And I've got this one here, Level 3 Certificate in Electrical Installation Theory and Practice Part 2, successful in the following 1 component, Electrical Science and Principles. So I'm getting all these certificates through in the post. I don't know what they all mean. I do an exam, I get a certificate, I'm thinking that it's all happy days, everything's progressing as it should. I get to the end of the course, handshakes all round, thank you very much for your time, great, blah, 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 pats on the back, high fives. Nothing else was said. There was no mention of the AM2. Okay, there was no mention that qualification I did had to go with the AM2 in order to be qualified as an electrician. There was no mention of any modules that may have been missing. And apparently I don't have the final certificate to say that I've passed. And I've since had this checked over, and it turns out that I've got 2 or 3 modules missing, which I never knew. Okay, this is 20 years later, pretty much. Okay, now I can't help feeling cheated. As it stands, I am going to put myself back through I've sorted some of the modules out, so I've done the 2391 qualification now, which does the testing side of things or something, and there's a couple of other modules that I need to do, which I'm going to sort out. I'm also going to do the portfolio, okay? Because, you know, this is crazy. I've been doing this. I qualified 2005. I started my business up in 2005, and I've run a business since then, okay? And done well for myself. But yeah, I've still got to do the portfolio. I've got to go through the run of things. So now I need to do the City and Guilds experienced worker route, which I can't help but feel, and I don't know whether this is true or not, but it does seem like this may be in place to help people like myself who've been royally screwed over. So that's my only option now, is to get qualified, is to either go back to college and become an apprentice again, which I don't think can happen, because as far as my knowledge is aware, you can't go back retrospectively. You know, if you're at level 3, you can't go back to a level 2 course. You've always got to be moving up and forward. That's my understanding of things. So my only option now is the experienced worker route and fill out my portfolio, which I'm going to document in a series of videos to help other people achieve that level, and then do the AM2. Which again seems crazy considering that I'm teaching apprentices to do that. This is a crazy world that we live in. So the purpose of this video, guys, is to address the elephant in the room, okay? How was this allowed to happen? How are these colleges still able, and this is still going on, okay? How are these colleges still able to stay open, okay, and get people through, or get people to the end and draw all that funding or whatever that needs to happen, but people are still not getting qualified, or all their paperwork is missing or whatever, and they're just put through for the AM2 without the portfolio being fixed and sorted, okay? How is that still happening? I don't understand it. I don't understand why the unheard voices, such as myself, are literally just brushed under the carpet. Things need to move on, things need to be progressing. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting my head above the parapet. A lot of people hopefully will see that I've got a bit of knowledge and I've got half a clue about what I'm talking about when it comes to electrical installation. So I'm not stupid. How has this been allowed to happen to me? So I'm putting my hands up. I'm saying I'm not qualified, and I want to know why. I want to know how this happened. I want to know why it's still happening. And I'm asking other people to come forward, okay? Because the more people that come forward, the stronger the voice, and this can no longer go on, okay? So what I'm asking is you guys to check your certificates, check your modules. Just because you've got a few fancy certificates that look like this, it doesn't mean that you've passed the qualification. If you have done an electrical qualification and you haven't done the AM2, then you're not qualified. If you never did your portfolio but you did the AM2, then technically you're not qualified. I would also like to know why there's so many different routes to becoming an electrician and why they're not all judged the same. Surely if the AM2 is the benchmark, why are courses being sold for electrical apprentices that then don't mean they're electricians? Okay, why is there a domestic installer, low level, which isn't the same as an electrician that has done the 2360 or 2365 now, or the 8202 and the AM2, or the 5357 and apprenticeship route? Why does that exist? Okay, because when I was back in 2000 and 2001, when I enrolled, I just, same as everybody else, saw the words become a qualified electrician, here's the course, here's the number, this is how much it's going to cost, and I enrolled, okay, thinking that that was what I was going to get at the end of it. Now, nearly 20 years later, I now find out that that isn't the case, and actually there's different routes into the industry that all come at different levels. And surely if people are domestic installers and they're not classed as electricians by the IET, how can they then trade as electricians? How can I trade as an electrician if I'm not qualified? Okay, how does that happen? How was I able to enroll on a competent person scheme and I was not qualified to do that? So there's my thoughts. I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to put my hand above the parapet, put my hand up and say I'm not qualified. I'm asking for people to come forward to help me get answers, not just for myself, but for you guys too, because I don't think this is fair. Okay, well, as always, take care of yourself and let's see what happens.